All right, we are live, and I am here with Hurricane Liz. I have done a transformation today for the second of our doubleheader. We had the doubleheader today. Earlier, Greg Morrison was amazing. By the way, I'll explain the transformation in a moment. I don't know. I'm not sure about the top part of the transformation, but I'll keep the jersey on. So we are live. We're here with Hurricane Liz. This is the second part of our doubleheader. Earlier, we had Greg Morrison, who was electrifying. Greg was throwing down on Fred, and if you haven't seen it, of course, obviously watch this, and this is going to be a total nuke with Liz here. When you're done, though, obviously backtrack, go to Greg's video. Get your pen, your notebook, paper out, and start taking notes. And these are limited time videos. Like, we're going to be disclosing some things that we wouldn't otherwise do if it weren't late in the game, and also if there weren't such intensity surrounding things. OMG is we're closing registration tomorrow, Thursday at midnight, and that means that there's just a lot of excitement going on. I was looking at Jason Stone's Instagram. It's crazy. There's just zillions and zillions of posts that he has on there, all kinds of OMG success, and Cody Sperber. Ty Lopez has been speaking out. It's right there at the top of the open letter. If when you scroll down, you click the start button on this page, you can see what Ty Lopez said, speaking out, and it's been from every corner of the internet. I heard it this morning from Sean Casey. I heard it from Ricky Matejka. I heard it from Mo Latif. I heard I hope I'm not leaving anybody out. Oh my goodness, Mark Ling. It's been absolute pandemonium. So we're really, really excited at what's going on, and why not? Why wouldn't people be shouting from the rooftop? So now it comes to this, because this is part 2 of our interview series doubleheader. This is harnessing free traffic for Amazon. Okay, and this is a live on-air interview with me and with Hurricane Liz Herrera. And in Liz's honor, Liz and I haven't got the chance to celebrate yet. But I thought, and I sprung this on her. I had something on earlier. And she actually, honest, and she started talking about how we needed a Tom Brady jersey somewhere, and bam, there I was. And I have my Tom Brady hat that I got from our friend Will Smith, who also changs it up on Amazon. I think he's a 6-figure Amazon seller at this point. So William Smith sent me this hat. I just got it, the TB12. So I got the TB jersey because Liz is a big sports fan, and she gets fired up. And anything I can do to get Liz, fired up is well worth it. You get this.
Right, you did a good job, Mike. I wasn't even aware that you were putting the Tom Brady jersey on. I was actually had the screen down and started talking about Tom Brady. I was thinking of what I was going to put in my new apartment and the backdrop, and I said, maybe if I put a Tom Brady jersey. But I know that there's still a lot of Tom Brady haters, even though he pretty much proved he was the GOAT, the #1 GOAT quarterback of all time. And I just can't help but love the guy. I think he's an amazing athlete. He's an amazing guy to sort of follow, like, his mindset, and that's kind of what I strive for. So I was fired up when I saw that. I'm definitely fired up for this webinar.
Well, if you're fired up, then I'm going to keep the whole transformation on for the whole time, because I want Liz in the zone, and she has been in the zone. This has been incredible. With Greg Morrison earlier, we were talking about this, and we'll get a little bit into Liz's backstory, but I like to start like right in the action. I think it's fun that way. You just sink your teeth in. Let's talk about the money that's going on. What's at stake? What's to be made? What are the requirements? If there's something that's going to block you out, this isn't for everybody. This is make money from undershorts at home kind of thing, and this is one of those things. Actually, I'll say it right now. Let me just think about this. Hopefully this will not cause any webinar malfunction, but I'm going to pick up my computer here, and I will go outside and I'll say it. There is, guys, there's money flying around all over the place out there. There's just money flying around everywhere. And, this out here is that's Santa Monica, I guess is right about there. Ty Lopez lives right there in Beverly Hills. That's some exclusive club, supposedly, that wouldn't even let the Kardashians in, or maybe that's their marketing strategy. I don't know. By the way, Ty Lopez says, catch a trend, Liz. Says, catch a trend. This is West Hollywood. We'll talk about that in a second. Encino and all kinds of other stuff's out there, Woodland Hills. But there's, in all these places, different parts of America, El Paso's out there somewhere, Liz. There's money flying around all over the place out there. Just in the form, even if we just focus on e-commerce, there's so many buyers in those houses and people working at offices that are shopping on the internet for things that people need. When we were in, Liz, when me and Jason Stone and Cotton got together in Miami, we missed you out there, but I understand you're going to be getting together, by the way. It's going to be exciting for Jason Stone viewers. I understand you're getting together with Jason tomorrow. But, you know, when we were there was one guy, he was making a boatload off of selling umbrellas for somebody else, like the beach umbrellas, like, you know, that they sell like at the different hotels, like the One Hotel and the Delano and all that stuff. An OMGer was there, and what he's doing is selling, you know, those things online, you know, and it's, there you go. I mean, there's money flying around all over the place.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. In fact, the funny thing you mentioned, Jason Stone, for those of you guys that do not know who he is, the Millionaire Mentor, we were actually down at his house about a month ago. And one of the funniest and craziest things is he was talking about his inflatable, it was some kind of goose, inflatable goose that he has a nickname for. And I guess
I think it's like Mr. Swan or something. I know exactly what you're talking about. He says it though. It'll be like Swan. Mr. Swan, or yeah, James Swan. Oh, it's James Swan, right? Like it sounds like James Bond.
So he's like James Swan that was floating around. I said, that's funny you have that, Jason, because I actually sell an inflatable flamingo. And he actually had bought my inflatable flamingo. So talk about small world and money flying around all over the place. In fact, I was recently checking out an apartment, and inside the apartment was one of my very best friend's products laying there on the bed. And I'm like, this is kind of crazy, the fact that I know the people that are actually manufacturing these products and making the money. They're the ones that are out there catching the money that's flying out all over Hollywood, all over the USA, including all over El Paso, which interestingly enough, Logan was living in El Paso. If you guys have not seen that movie, Logan was, shout out to El Paso and Juarez. He was living in El Paso and Juarez at the end of his life. So that was kind of an exciting thing for me when I sat there, a girl from a small border town, and to see like a big star like Hugh Jackman. Not that he filmed in El Paso, but just a cartoon character from the same town that I was from. But I'm out there trying to catch as much of that money as I can, Mike.
Well, I love it, and you're helping OMGers do it too. I was thinking, I don't know why, it kind of struck a chord for me the other day ago, but I saw a post on Facebook. I don't know if it was on Insta too, but it was from Igor Miller, and he, I think he had like his laptop was there, and it was like you could see, I guess he was like in a hammock or something like that, and it looked like he was like in a nice place, and it was like, you know, hashtag office for the day or something like that. And you know, I mean, it's the craziest thing because Igor, he's an exchange student. He's 19 years old. He's living in Germany right now. And I got to thinking about how it was that from your dorm room, you started your first 7-figure business, because that's what Igor is racing towards right now. I mean, how did you get your start? Well, first of all, I don't want to tease people. Who's Igor?
Igor is actually a student of ours. He's inside of OMG, and he's kind of taken the OMG world by storm. I mean, not only does he and his mother have an Amazon product, but they've also started a client consulting business and just overall become like internet consultants. So it's kind of like a dream job. They're able to work from wherever in the world that they want. They're able to create any kind of income that they want. They recently had an $80,000 a month on Amazon, and that doesn't even include their SEO clients that they're actually picking up from all the money that's like flying around out there. I mean, Igor's very capable. He and I, and this is the great thing about OMG, is that we are a community that shares information. So Igor is one of the guys that's responsible for some of the numbers that you're about to see that I did over the Christmas holiday, and that's because he shared one single tip with me, and then he allowed me to share that with everyone after he and I had thoroughly tested this tip. And it worked like gangbusters, Mike, because it multiplied not only his sales, but my sales. And that was the reason that I had that single product that had a $300,000 a month. It was thanks to Igor's tip.
And it's exciting. And it also shows when people say, why do you guys do it? Right? Why do you guys, if, you know, like the skeptic, you know, as Ty Lopez says. By the way, Liz, Ty tells this great story about how he's giving away a car. And it was that night. And he's like, yeah, you know, so they call the guy up and like, yeah, Ty Lopez is giving you a car. And the guy's like, nuh-uh. And Ty, you know, I guess Ty's guys, no, seriously, it's, you know, you're getting it. And the guy's like, no, not serious. And I guess Ty picks up the phone and he's like, I hate cynics. And he hangs up the phone. And then Ty says to me, it's like the second time that's happened.
Wow.
And he says, I hate skeptics. But the thing is, like, it's not, he doesn't hate the person that's a skeptic. He, of course, like in a sense, you know, that's a harsh way to put it. But I mean, he really wants people to have a breakthrough, to let go of the idea of skepticism. But he also says, Liz, you got to catch a trend. You got to catch a trend. Nobody in life is going to make money. Yes, you got to be, you know, open enough, right, that you can catch a trend, but you still got to catch that trend. Why is Amazon just blowing up right now? I mean, it's just so incredible. Well, take us inside of it. You actually mentioned, you can see that Liz is in her, she's in her a beautiful luxury apartment that overlooks beautiful Miami, you know, with the waterways and everything. That's absolutely stunning. You can actually see the cruise ship fly. Well, Cassie and I took a cruise, and we, Liz was waving to us. She sent me a Snapchat that a picture, you know, drew a line to my cruise ship. It was really cool. But anyways, you were saying that, you know, while it looks picture perfect behind you right now, actually there's a lot of money flying around behind, or things that are getting ready to turn into money. Take us through what this process looks like, and I want you to open up, you know, these boxes. Tell us what's inside of it. There's a great story behind it. We'll show you numbers and split test. I mean, this is going to be incredible. But first, Liz, just to get people to know, I wrote a little bit in this about the email, but you mentioned El Paso. To give people a background on you, you know, who are you and how you get your start? Because they hear something like that you built your first $1 million business from your dorm room, and they might think, oh, you know, maybe it's like one of these, you know, you're off in Yale, Ivy League, Princeton, and you're like with Mark Zuckerberg or something like that, you know, where it's a tech thing, or Silicon Valley. But this is nothing like that at all. In fact, it was probably even surprising, given how you got started, that you even got to go to college in the first place.
Right. I actually, Mike, went to college because my parents forced me to. They knew that I was an entrepreneur at heart, and I had businesses at the age of 16. Now, I didn't have a clue what that meant. I didn't have a clue we had to do things like accounting or taxes or any of that. So obviously, a couple times that I failed, and I failed miserably. But I think the first big trend, as Ty calls it, that I caught was actually the Pokemon trend. And that's the first Pokemon trend. And basically what I did is I would show up at places like Comic-Con and Wizard World in Chicago, and all these big Comic-Cons, the Dallas one, every one that I could actually go to. And I'd show up there with some type of action figure or comic book or something. That was basically in the book, in dealing comics. So I actually decided to put a website up, and this was like in 1999. In fact, I think you can verify that in 2001, it actually was up, and it was called planet-trend.com. I didn't even know anything about not hyphening keywords or keyword optimization, any of that. I just threw up a site, put a bunch of Star Wars figures, and I put something that hardly anyone knew about at that time. It was called Pokemon. I put it up on that website, and I started to travel all around the country selling Pokemon. And guess what? At first, I was literally one of the only people that had Pokemon. And I just had the right thing at the right time. I knew it was hot. I could see it was hot in El Paso, and I imagined that it was hot all over the country. I traveled the country with Pokemon. I carried it inside of a U-Haul trailer. And guess what? At first, I was the only person that showed up with it. And as a result, I caught that trend, and I cashed in, and I cashed in huge. And people just started to come to my website in hordes, literally in hordes. And I started to sell on eBay, and that was the very first taste of leveraging somebody else's free traffic that I actually got. So eBay was my first big thing, and I just cashed in really big on eBay and Pokemon, and that's kind of how I started. Excellent. So now if we back it up to where things were with, say, Igor, you know, I'm wearing this hat. This hat's from
William Smith, he's an OMGer who was doing client consulting, decided to add multiple streams of income. So he went into Amazon, and now he's roaring on there as well. You said that you have some products there, and there's even a backstory behind this. You mentioned the Igor connection. What are you talking about? What products do you have sitting around there?
One of the products I have sitting around is a product that Igor was partly responsible for helping to really accelerate. And that product was actually a VR headset. See, I did the exact same thing with Amazon that I did with eBay. I want to say it's almost 20 years. Like I'm actually showing my real age out there, and I know a lot of people say I have a baby face, but I just pretty much told you guys all how old I am. And basically what I did is I used this one tip Igor gave me along with really good just overall optimization on my Amazon product. And that's typically the types of things that I teach inside of OMG, how to properly optimize that, keywords and things like that. And that's all very simple. I have a duplicatable system. In fact, I think you already know this, Mike, but this product, I had no involvement whatsoever. In fact, my system is so easy to duplicate that this headset was entirely done by my team. And as a result of that, we kind of found a couple different glitches there because I had no involvement. But the tip that Igor helped me with, I was able to propel that VR headset, and I'll show you guys here that in a minute. I was able to get it ranked at the top of the Amazon search engine. In fact, I was ranked higher than Samsung. I was ranked higher than Sony. I was ranked higher than anyone in the world that had a VR headset. And as a result,
this is during this last Christmas season, is that right? This isn't like 10 years ago.
It was actually before Christmas. So this is how hot this product was. Even way before Christmas, this is around the beginning of October. Sales don't usually start picking up till November. But right at the beginning of October, within 20 days of starting to actually promote the VR headset,
and when did you do the strategy to the, I want to check in with you on this just to get the timeline straight. When did you implement these changes that you're talking about? I'm wondering, because I've got something in my hot little hands here.
I actually have a screenshot here that I think I can share here. So let me share it. And share this. Okay, so I should be showing my screen now. Let me know if you could see it, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is a screenshot of the actual VR headset. So as you can see right here, it came in stock on September 17th. And right here, we sort of just began doing the keyword optimization. We started to do an email sequence immediately upon check-in because of our really good optimization. We started to get a couple sales. So as we began to get sales and start requests and reviews from some of those people, really the true magic, as I call it, began on about October 9th. That's the point where we really started the real marketing. So by that, I mean, we started to send some traffic in there, very inexpensive traffic. We don't do any sort of PPC. We try to create backlinks for our product because we want it to rank not only #1 in Amazon, but also #1 in Google. So this is where really the marketing began. And as you can see here, we did this live for people at OMG Live.
Liz, yeah. Do you see this?
Let me have a look. Yes, I do see it.
Can you read that?
Sam Weyemeyer, executive producer. OMG Live 2016. Thanks again for letting us be part of.
So this is the hard drive. This is this is it. Like you did this live, like right here on this top secret hard drive. I was saying that because earlier I was talking about Greg Morrison did all these treasure maps live on this top secret hard drive right here. I was carrying that around in my backpack, Liz, when I was up in Miami, and then when I went out to Scottsdale, and people kept asking me about it, and I had them with me because you never know if I have to whip it out for something. But no, this magic happened. Like you did this right on stage without a net, one product, 1 for 1. It wasn't like you threw 10 products up against the wall there. On this hard drive, what there is you outline, doom, doom, doom. These are the switches. This goes here. This is the way, bam, done. And then what happened next? I mean, that's basically what happened. Is that right?
Absolutely, Mike. That's exactly what happened. I showed exactly what we did from October 9th up until the finish, which was October 29th, I want to say. I can't remember what day OMG Live was. I think it was on the 14th.
14th, I think it's the 14th. I believe that was the fateful day. Liz's part. See, people think Some people think that this is only about that we have 3 hours of Jordan Belfort that we paid $75,000 for, $25,000 per hour. Jordan Belfort, life changing. That's on there, but also Hurricane Liz. This product that you're seeing is right here on this hard drive, just so you guys know. And of course, incredibly throughout OMG, it's amazing how she's done this. But I just love what we do because it's so cool to see that magic come to life in the way that you've done it. Because like, look, the sales just explode, Liz.
Right, they just exploded. I remember I texted you also when they hit 123. But basically, this was the result. And this product, as I said before, it just took off. Like, I can't even describe how quickly it took off within those 20 days by using these tactics that I teach. And once it took off, it's kind of settled down a little bit, and then it had that after effect where everything started to snowball. In fact, even the timing, because at this point we were getting into the Christmas season, and as you can see, we went from maybe $100 a day in sales all the way on up to past $4,000 a day in sales, and we weren't even in the rush for Christmas. And then we'll talk in a bit about what actually happened, but we had hit the $3,000 a day mark. It was going to be pretty much standard from that point forward, even after Christmas.
So Liz, just to make things clear for people, what's going on? We're talking about the product sales. Can you show? Do you happen to have a headset handy that you could show people what it looks like?
Turn off the screen share.
Yeah, that's sweet about these hard drives, though, huh?
Okay, I'm back on. So I'm going to first show actually the let me show the actual shot of the actual headset itself. It's nothing fancy. In fact, as I told you, Mike, I was not responsible for any part of bringing out this headset together. I don't even actually know how it works. That goes to show you just how much I know this particular product. So typically, I know how everything works because I'm one of the people that helps design it. But I let my team run with it. They ran with it. This is what they came back with. A lot of features that I didn't like about the headset. One thing that I did like about it is it cost us $4. So it was a $4 headset, and we were selling it pretty quickly at $29.99. So if you want to really think about numbers, I'm not a big numbers person, but
yeah, now pull that chart back up, because this to me, and people are seeing real live, and one of the reasons, again, with so much energy, with Ty's leadership, with Bob Proctor speaking out, all the things that are going on right now, it allows us to kind of dig a little deeper, show you a little bit more, get a little crazier, right, today, just to get Liz really fired up. Liz, every single one of those dots, every single one means that's the amount of money that got transferred into your bank account that day. So for example, if I look, I'm going to lean in and try to read this. On October 22nd, if I kind of follow it up, it looks like you make a little bit over $1,000, right?
Right, just on that one single product.
And one single product, and on that day, $1,000 gets moved into your account. There's some costs. There's, Amazon has some fees. It's not too bad, but they have some fees, involves some merchant processing, and they're going to pack and ship things for you. But the great news is they're going to pack and ship things for you, Liz. Like, your apartment actually, like, that's probably you inspecting some stuff and so forth. It's not that you are like, your life is not like upside down, with this stuff. Is that right, or is it?
Right. We have no nothing in the apartment whatsoever in terms of like product other than samples and this headset that we have here. Nothing else in the apartment at all other than computers. Got it.
Okay, great. So for this, and that's just to give people a sense of what it can look like. I mean, it really can boil down to, an apartment and a laptop and the internet, and that's it. Obviously, like Liz, wants to take quality a little bit seriously, very seriously, so she wants to look at the product. But my point is, so what you're looking at here altogether from September 17th when it went on sale to November 17th, $73,000 in sales. This is one product. The net profit of that is $47,000 after everything. $47,000. That's way more money. That's actually right around the total amount that an average American household makes in a whole year, according to the last census. and that's in 2 months' time with one product. That's crazy, Liz. What happened next?
Well, unfortunately, everybody that I knew was pretty impressed with the fact that we did this, but there was one particular person that was not so impressed, and that is Amazon. So there's a couple things that we overlooked because of the fact that, as I said before, I had no involvement in it. I kind of handed this over to my team and allowed my team to do everything. And the thing that we overlooked is we sold so much, and this had never happened on a brand new account. We always had aged accounts that were not brand new. And because this was brand new and it sold too much too fast, Amazon didn't believe that we were actually the manufacturer for the product. They thought that we were just trying to counterfeit the product itself. So they did not actually believe I was the manufacturer, and they shut me down and asked me to send them all sorts of invoices and other types of things. And I got to be honest with you, I don't actually think it was that. I think it's that they were one of the primary sellers on Sony or Samsung, and they just weren't happy with the fact that I was cutting too much into their sales, and they could project what I was going to see come Christmas time, because this was before Christmas. So come Christmas time, I'm imagining if I had the inventory, I could have had the potential to sell 1,000 units per day if I literally wanted to.
Amazing. Now, you actually did, though, have several products that were up and running that made you just boatloads of money. Can you show us another listing that actually did go through the Christmas season? And guys, don't worry overly much. The way that Liz does things, you really learn to navigate these things. That's one of the things that she's doing for you. That's why she's doing the testing.
Right. So this here is, I'm going to show the sales summary. I don't want to show this product because this is actually, it's now my best seller. So this product is my best seller currently. And this particular product, we just really went crazy on it. We knew that it was going to just be a slam dunk. We'd seen the numbers. We knew that we needed to go big or go home, as they say. So we really went big on it, and it paid off huge, because it turns out we actually got ahead of Melissa and Doug. We got ahead of big names like Melissa and Doug. We were ranked above #1 above Melissa and Doug, and as a result, we just killed it with this product. We sold more than Melissa and Doug even did during the Christmas season.
So this is $304,000 in sales, one single product, and only in a 30-day stretch. It's mind, like, I mean, how do people even process that? I mean, there are places that you can get a great house for $50,000. I mean, how do people put something like this in context, and how do you get there? I mean, doesn't this seem, I mean, yeah, it's exciting, but doesn't it feel like it's kind of like possibly far away for somebody? I mean, how did you get to here to where you could just, flick off a product? And this is a product, I got to see this product get developed. You told me what it was going to be and how well it was going to go, and I was right there, with you. This is, we were at J Beach doing it, and I saw it. You showed me the graphic designs for it and everything like that. You predicted it. You called your shot. Bam, you did it. But how did you? I mean, did you come into Amazon with a lot of money? What was your situation when you started with Amazon?
Actually, no, I didn't come into Amazon with a lot of money. What happened was, as you know, as an internet poker player, I was actually quite good. But one day the DOJ decided to shut down all the poker sites, which pretty much meant I was out of a job. I was stuck in almost $1 million house with I still had a mortgage on it. Had a lot of nice things in there, a lot of nice things outside of there. And literally I had to get rid of everything that I had and start all over, because I had all these bills to pay and I had pretty much nowhere to go. I had to go back to El Paso and live with my mom. That's how bad things were. So I went back, lived with my mom, and as I started to build another business, I just happened to stumble upon Amazon, and I literally started with zero, and I started to get to know Amazon in general, and I became so good at it that what I actually did is I sought out a partner, and I found a partner that was willing to invest because they saw the potential, and they actually invested in my first private label product. And to this day, I still have that partner on some ventures, and it's worked out really great. And it was just kind of like a match made in heaven, but it was all because of the fact that I got to know the Amazon back-end system like the back of my hand, and I just jumped on that trend, like Ty Lopez calls it, which is, it's just what it is right now. It's a fantastic trend, but it's enabled me to build just some gigantic private label brand, which I know now I can take and sell for a couple $1 million at the point we are. And I've got a couple of those. We've got nearly, I want to say 40 products, maybe 30 good ones and 10 that don't ask me what I was thinking when I actually got the product. Luckily now I have a very duplicatable system that will show you exactly what kind of product to go after. But at the time, the products that I selected weren't the wisest ones, but they still do sell. And that's the beauty of Amazon, that it's such a gigantic trend right now that even the worst products will still sell.
That's fantastic, Liz. Show me the onboarding process. Take people inside, because you have had, I mean, if people search the Powered by OMG Instagram channel, you'll see these pockets where Liz is doing one of these onboardings, her apprentice program that's coming up right around the corner. It is so exciting when she does these, because you see all these brand new earnings reports that just go pop, 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 like all surrounding an event. And you see the light bulbs going off, popcorn popping, people, making their first $500, the first 1,000, the first, 5,000. And next thing you know, it's 20,000. I mean, we've seen with, Ty Lopez, literally, you'll see it at the top of the open letter with, with Michael Lando Spears. Me and Ty were at Traffic and Conversion, and, he wanted to shoot a video. So, we shot it, and, he was talking about, catching trends and stuff like that. And Michael Lando Spears was right there. We pulled him on camera, and, Ty started talking to him. $65,000 that he made last month on Amazon. He's 22 years old. And he's living in the UK, selling in the US. It's just, again, it's like a different world. Like what's even going on? Like how do you get onboarded in that way to where we're having person after person having success like this? What's the secret sauce? I think we can let the cat a little bit out of the bag, because we've got time counting down on the event, and people want to know, and this will be a limited time to watch this video.
Right. Well, there's two things that I attribute to being the secret sauce. The first, which is a very easy to duplicate, is having a system in place. And that's where Amazon Apprentice comes in, because literally I take people by the hand, step by step, where we research and find out how to pick the right products. I've often found that is the weakest point for most people, and it happens to be my strongest point, Mike. And I've created such an amazing system where we even have a sheet now. It's called the Sorcerer Sheet. Our very own OMG's Josh Dewitt created this sheet, and he gives it out free to OMGers. And what it basically will do is they put the product in there, they load it up, and it will tell them whether or not the product is a thumbs up or thumbs down. Because again, at the end of the day, the thing that I find is the single most important thing to make a person successful is being able to source the right products. And that's just where it starts, Mike. It continues onward to, we teach them how to source the product. In fact, last night we had a gigantic webinar. We had almost over 200 people sign up. About 150 people actually showed up because they were wanting to hear about my Chinese sourcing agent, who, guess what? He's now sourcing products, not just for me, but all of OMG. So you get to work with the guy like that who has the experience. He's a guy that I've done multiple transactions with, and you can actually use him to find your product in China. And on top of that, we still have OMG's Mandy Payne, who happened to be at one point one of the top 10 reviewers on Amazon. What that means for OMG is that she knows how to tell a good product from a bad product. So as if it wasn't enough to have my sourcing guy, you get to be able to have the opportunity to work.
Disclaimer with Mandy Payne. Disclaimer, I must tell you this. She will tell you the truth, okay? And it's going to be the truth. And even if you don't want to hear it, okay? But it's like to have these resources like Liz is talking about. It's because Mandy has reviewed thousands of products, and she's seen thousands lose. She's seen the winners win. And, like the resources that Liz has put inside of this. And you mentioned China, Liz. How many times have you been to China?
It's got to be at least a dozen now, Mike. And you know, now it's to the point where I don't even have to go. I send my sourcing manager now. So I've gotten a little lazy with going to China, but I'll tell you what, I've showed so many.
12 times in the last how long? When was the last time you went?
I want to say it was about a year ago, because I really didn't have to go last year. So it was 12 times in like 2.5 years. I really didn't have to go.
In order for you to build the infrastructure that you have now, the systems that you have, the people, the web that you created, the OMGers just massively benefit from river source logistics to every which crossing way, the software. I mean, every path that all comes together. You know, the secret sauce. When it's time to nuke up that offer, and we actually, again, I mentioned the tapes, but Mr. X, that we're going to be talking about in the Amazon world, has a nice, little recording in here and a nice little hookup for OMGers as well. We'll get into that right now, but down the road, you guys will know what I was talking about. You have put together just one nuke after the next for OMGers, and it's just been extraordinary, because I just see, Brian Addison said in an earnings report a couple weeks back, he has $1 million Amazon business of his own and a $3 million Amazon consulting, and he just can't stop saying enough about you, Liz. What has it been like for you to see person after person after person, their lives change like this? Where they have physical products that they can explain to their families. They got started on a bootstrap, because your bootstrap starting out, you're talking, it could be $50 and you're off to the races.
Yeah, it could be under $100. Josh did it with under 100. Several people in there have done it with under 100, and they're now in the thousands. And I myself did it with absolutely no money whatsoever. People might think, like, how the heck did you do that? I had a guy call me just the other day ago, Mike, and this was actually before I joined OMG. I told a guy, 70 years old, retired, and I told him about 5 years ago that he needed to start selling on Amazon, because he asked me, Liz, how can I make $1,000 a month? And I told him, sell books on Amazon. And he called me yesterday, and he wanted to tell me that he wanted to thank me. He had made $75,000 last year selling books. 70-year-old man, retired with his wife. He was going to Hawaii, and he just wanted to reach out and say thank you so much for letting him know to jump into Amazon. And he was asking about how to get into private label, but he was so excited about life as a retiree now that he was making $70-some thousand a year selling on Amazon. It was absolutely amazing.
No, and you even got me to go to China. And it was, it was challenging, but it really helped me appreciate, if it was that much, I learned so much, but it was also, there were the challenges and the language barrier and the cultural clash, and yet there is opportunity, so much of it. And to see it through your eyes, to be guided by you and all of your mastermind there, that was amazing for me. But then to know that you've done this 12 times over, and every single time the OMGers have just massively benefited. It just, to me, it's like, in a sense, it's no wonder that people have had so much success, but it's been a wonder to behold. Let me ask you this. What's your number one favorite earnings report, though, from somebody who came in to OMG?
I'm going to have to think on that for a minute. There's actually quite a few of them, but I'll think about it for a little bit and I'll get back to you. But I know Igor has to be up there only because he shared a couple things. Brian Addison has to be up there because I was proud of the fact that he actually took an idea that I talked about and ran with it and showed just how lucrative it could be. So now I see all sorts of Brian Addison clones popping up. I'm trying to think what else. I think Eric Hanna turned one in that he had for Christmas for one product. That's a good one for me because Eric's always hustling in there. His wife is writing press releases every single day on her own. So I kind of look at that as somebody that listens, and I appreciate the fact that they listen, and it really is means a lot to me when I see that they're out there and they're doing stuff. I can think of so many people in there that have actually done it. I know Becky Dent was in Spec Ops, and she's always hustling and trying to help the community out as much as she can. So a lot of people that I can think of off the top of my head. Riz is always there. I've talked to him on a couple of occasions.
Riz hit $2 million last year, all because of, he says all because of you. That's what he said to me. Right.
Yeah. So Riz is a cool guy. I got to talk to him at OMG Live. So there's just so many people that I know, and that I know I'm leaving out, but I know have been in there and just doing it. They're just getting shit done, Mike, which at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, is actually taking some of these strategies that I talk about, because all these strategies are actually strategies that I'm using. I'm not talking about anything that I don't use. I'm not promoting any products that I do not like. It's all strategies that I'm actually using in my business, which I think is, like, at the end of the day, one of the best things of all is it's things that I'm actually doing.
Liz, so for your part, when someone's coming inside of OMG, No Holds Barred 2017, because this is all new for 2017. This is something that a lot of people don't realize. When Ty Lopez, once again, not to beat a dead horse, but when Ty says you got to catch a trend, you're not going to get paid if you're not catching a trend. And it's not about what it was in 2016. That's what NHB 2016 was about. This is NHB 2017. It's totally redesigned. Of course, the common threads that are still terrific get lovingly and caringly installed in 2017. But there's a whole new world of advantages that Liz is bringing to the table just for her part. And to contextualize things for you, dozens of people have paid $10,000 for a 3-day mastermind with Liz and come away raving. Back when she used to be willing to go to China. She stopped doing that only because she stopped going to China. But people loved it. So people would literally pay $10,000 just for 3 days of Liz's time. And you're getting a whole year of it inside of OMG. Another angle, people say 100,000. I mean, Liz, how many people off the top of your head can you think of that have made at least 100,000? You don't have to name names, but if you just kind of quickly, just so people can kind of enjoy the experience, where you've seen an earnings report from OMG of $100,000 total or more for their whole store.
I want to say I've seen several dozen, Mike. They're all over the OMG reports. And they're just all over the place. And that's just the people that have actually reported in. We don't know the people that are actually sitting out there, maybe in their underwear, incognito, under the radar. But there's plenty of those people that possibly haven't reported anything. And so we only know the people that have reported. But, one more thing that I did want to point out to people is really at this point, if you want to go to China, there's really no need to go. I mean, if you want to go and you want to have a first-class experience, sure, I can show you that when I go. But the fact that I brought in my agent that I actually work with, that we have multiple transactions going on with right now, and he's willing to do the work for you, all the legwork in China, means that you guys don't ever even have to leave the comfort of your own home to get started on creating your own private label products. He's ready to work with you guys. We just had that last night, which again is going to be available to everybody that joins. Everybody's going to get his contact info. People were just going insane last night, Mike, because of the fact that they get to have the opportunity to work with the same guy that I'm using in all of my transactions and who's doing all my sourcing. So absolutely invaluable.
And this is a product of I think 18 months of testing with this guy. Is that correct?
Yeah, this guy we've been using now for over 6 months. So we've done about half a dozen transactions with him, and we've got about another dozen in the works with him. And he's been just absolutely, he's been epic. His prices that he's come back with have been unbelievable. His quality's off the charts. His everything that he does, he's just such a professional. In fact, last night he described to me he wants to be the Google of China sourcing. So he's actually upped his workforce and everything because he's really taken it quite seriously. He's excited to be able to work with OMGers in general.
That's a fantastic thing. And when I said 18 months, Liz has been searching and searching, particularly for somebody who could really open things up and really cut out even more of the guesswork when it comes to things and cut out being able to travel to China. Again, this is OMG 2017. And with that in mind, Liz, and we've talked about, that $10,000 mastermind and where you've now kind of rearranged and made it so now that they have your private sorcerer. But take me inside, somebody just brand new, who just found out about OMG and gets inside of it from the perspective of Hurricane Liz Herrera. What are they getting? What's their world going to be like? How is Hurricane Liz going to turn their life upside down? But for the next 90 days and in 2017.
Well, Mike, to be quite honest, it's going to be actually rather simple as long as they're willing to do some work, get a little dirty, get a little down and dirty, and do some of the things that I tell them to do. I have it pretty much laid out step by step. They have a whole variety of different ways to get started. In fact, we talked about it on one of the first webinars that we did this year. It's called Inception Style Sourcing, where I literally showed people examples of products. In fact, one that we're now taking a little bit more mainstream that should be up and running. I just got the PI on my desk today that I have to pay for it, but they're products that you can get started for under $100. And that's just out of this world if you think about it. Having a product available to sell on Amazon, you can get it up for under $100. In fact, Jason Stone, I just talked to Jason Stone guys earlier, and they're getting a product up on Amazon because they saw how ridiculous it is and how crazy. It's like a buying frenzy on there because of this trend. So even Jason Stone realizes the actual potential. Ty Lopez, we know Ty Lopez, he wanted to get in there too. And as I told you before, inside of OMG, in the Amazon Apprentice program, they have access to that. We kind of changed it up a little bit. We made it a little sexier than Amazon Apprentice, but step by step, we take them all the way from finding the product, getting the product. They have access to either my agent or the other multiple ways that we show them to get that product. Then we have the marketing phase where we show them what it is they have to do in order to rank. And in fact, we have the very popular now Deconstructing Amazon series, which I haven't seen taught anywhere else, Mike. What that is it shows you the Amazon SEO and how to actually deconstruct what is causing products to rank #1 on Amazon. So we went through that step by step. We still have a few more of those left to go. But after the marketing phase, which is very important, we have the actual continuing to rank phase and then the management phase. So we have it all broken down step by step, week by week. And then after we're done with all that week by week, then we jump into some of the more advanced things like how to keep on marketing and how to adapt to the changes that Amazon makes. Because as you said, the reason our program adapts, just as the reason our SEO program adapts, is that every single month, I mean, every single week in some cases, Amazon is making changes just as Google is. They're constantly evolving, but because of the fact that my primary job is to constantly research and dissect the Amazon search engine and test, I have that information almost as quick as anyone in the world does other than Amazon themselves.
Amazing, Liz. I think it's going to be a really exciting time inside of OMG when you do join up. Liz's Amazon area is right there for you. We've got her first training webinars are already in, the replays of the events that she's already had, including the one from just yesterday. Her next one will be on Tuesday. So we're firing off with that. You have her step-by-step training that's already ready for you to get started with Amazon. And then immediately things go fast and furious. In fact, that's why we close registration, so we can focus in on taking you to the next level. It's going to be an absolutely unbelievable year for going big with Amazon and with Liz Herrera. I love seeing the Amazon earnings reports. We get an absolute ton of them. Liz, let me just give you the final word, and then we will say goodbye, and we'll have to see everybody tomorrow at the finish line when things close out for OMG. No holds barred registration. We're closing registration at midnight tomorrow night. Liz, final words.
Final words. I know there's several types of people that are on this webinar tonight. As Mike talked about, Ty Lopez, you can be a cynic, or I don't know what the other one he said, you can either believe or be a cynic. But the types of people that we're mostly having on these webinars is the people that love to hear me rant about silly things like I just did. Those people, in fact, did get a treat because they were able to see finally the headset that I actually came out with. $4 in China, guys, $4. You guys that are long-term OMGers can do the math. You can get out one of the spreadsheets or one of the 10,000 things that Josh has built to calculate how much profit I did on that. I think we sold a total of 3,500 units. So you guys do the math, but you guys got a special treat. Also, for those of you guys that are going to be in Director's Cut, you guys are in for a real treat because the juicy stuff is coming. We're just about through with the Amazon Apprentice, which we have going on, but you guys are in for a treat. But for the new guys out there, there's a ton of you out there right now that are wondering, you might be on the fence wondering, is this something that I should do? Well, chances are you could be, as Ty said, a cynic and say, if she's making that much money, why in the heck is she here on the webinar trying to show us what we got to do? You guys might not believe in it, but let me tell you something. You're going to regret it if you don't just take that single chance that you have right now and join OMG, because whether you decide to try to do it on your own, you're going to have to go through all that shit that I had to go through, which was years and years of testing and dissecting and failed products in order to figure out something that I could have just literally handed you on a silver platter with and taken you by the hand and walked you through it step by step. You literally have access to me on the Facebook groups. You can ask me any question you want except for what I ate for breakfast. Literally ask me anything other than what I ate for breakfast. You guys have the opportunity to not only work with me, but you also have the opportunity to work with great people like Cotton Grammer, Joe Marfolio, Fletch, Stephen Floyd, Greg Morrison, Mike and David. But as I said before, you're going to regret it if you just don't take that single chance. Anyone can do this on Amazon. I just told you about the 70-year-old man, 70-year-old retiree, $75,000 last year. So my whole point to you is we've had a 70-year-old guy just give me an earnings report. We've also had a 9-year-old boy. Mike would very well remember that. 9-year-old boy had a $1,500 in a single month earnings report. His parents still doing quite well on Amazon. So we've had 70 to 9 years old. My question to you guys is, what's your excuse? You're on this webinar tonight because you want to make more money. At the end of the day, you're not happy with your life because you want the time, the freedom, and the ability to fire your own boss and say, you can go to hell, take this job and shove it where the sun don't shine. So my point to you is, I'm literally doing this webinar, Mike, in my pajamas. You can't see it, but I've got my pajamas. I can go around my apartment all day long doing whatever the hell that I want, because guess what? My team is now trained with my duplicatable system to launch products, which basically means, Mike, I can be sitting on the beach sipping mojitos here in Miami if I really wanted to. But unfortunately, as you all, most Americans are, I don't like my color. I wish I was a little lighter. If I go sit out there in the sun, I'm going to bake. So I prefer to be inside the condo, in the fresh air-conditioned condo here in Miami, Florida, downtown. So my point to you guys is, you could literally have the type of freedom and time that I do, because I'm going to hand you my duplicatable system that a bunch of people in my organization were able to copy. And guess what? I don't think a single one of them has a college degree. That's the beautiful part. I'm the only one that has a college degree that actually follows the system. It was worthless for me. I wish I didn't have it. I have a student loan to pay every single month that reminds me of the biggest mistake that I made in my life. But all the guys that were able to launch this product, which hit the $70-some thousand mark in 2 months, not a single one has a college degree. So you can never be too smart, too dumb, or you can never listen to the people that are around you and telling you what you should and shouldn't follow. But the one thing that you can do is hit the add to cart button and join OMG, because I guarantee it will be the best decision you've made in your entire life, as long as you dedicate yourself to putting in the work. So that's my final word, Mike. Sorry you had to go on the rant, but I got to get back to sipping mojitos inside my air-conditioned condo here in Miami.
Liz, I thought it was tremendous, and it made bradying up for you really fantastic. And I want to reiterate, if there's one thing that Liz said that I, also inside that I really like to bring home, is the way I see it. That there's a fork in the road. It's like 3 choices. Wherever you are to wherever you want to go. If you keep going the way you're going, that's, logic states you're going to keep getting the same results. So presumably you don't want that, unless you're getting what you want. Then there's, going it alone. And I was thinking about this earlier today. There's a thought of like going it alone and trying to scrabble things together, either trying to get like lesser courses and trying to mesh them together somehow, or I don't know, on forums or Facebook groups, or hoping to beg for information. I mean, I tell people build or beg, but anyways, it's maybe the last that some people hear from me, just live and in person before we close things out on Thursday. But I'll tell you, Liz, a distinction that I kind of came to, and I'll leave it at this, is the second road. Of course, the third road is you jump into OMG, right? But the weird thing about that second road is, for so many people, isn't that second road the first road? Isn't the same thing? If I say doing the same thing that you're doing, And if the second choice, which is reasonable, it's logical, if the second choice is that you try to cobble together some sort of future, do your own R&D, try, in this case, travel to China and all these times and do all these tests. If it's SEO with Greg Morrison, I don't know, right? But isn't that, for the most part, when people, you know, if they put enough into this, right? If you've put enough into this to be here right now, you've studied something, you've watched some of Ty's videos or studied about Proctor, you've, you know, read Think and Grow Rich, you know, you've invested in personal development, you've focused on your future, you know, maybe you've, you know, studied with Cody or, you know, Jason, Ricky, with Mark Ling. I mean, there's something that you've done that's been good, that's really been good, that you've done, and you've looked into things and you've picked these things up here and there. And I agree. I think you're probably somewhere between 90 and 95% of the way there. That's the whole point of OMG. That's why we, you know, you really keep things underground. We don't really market to everywhere in the world. It kind of like, let's just be ourselves. I can dress up in a, you know, in a jersey and a hat. It's all right, right? I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm not trying to impress stock market investors, you know, or something like that. My retirement's taken care of. But here's the thing about those three choices. I mean, really look at it, because it is logical. You either do what you're doing now, or you try to go it alone and cobble things together somehow, or you do it the OMG way, right? But I think that the first and the second path probably are the same for everybody here tonight. And that's why I believe that the only logical choice, if you really do want to change your stars, is to take, you know, the real choice and to join with Liz and join OMG. So there was just something that Liz said about that inspired me, because I'll tell you, Liz, we do get a kind of a chief complaint at OMG, and that's that people didn't find out about us earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. The community, you cannot underestimate the value of a good community, because I always often, when I speak at events, I talk about my imaginary cousin Cecil, which most of you probably have, that's sitting at a bar trying to give me advice about how to run my business. Problem is, cousin Cecil's just a drunk guy sitting at a bar that doesn't really know shit about anything. He especially doesn't know how to run a business. Would you rather listen to him, or would you rather listen to Mike Long, who's in there telling you exactly how he built his business? Well, you're gonna have a lot of skeptics out there that are looking at what you decide to do and trying to literally put you under the microscope and ridicule you for doing something like joining one of those make money schemes. But let me tell you something, OMG is something, until you're inside of there, you cannot imagine the power of the actual community, a community that believes in you, a community that wants you to make money, and a community of many successful entrepreneurs that are working with one another in order for the good of all. So until you get in there, you won't understand what #City on a Hill means. And for those of you that do, we'll see you guys later tonight or tomorrow morning. We'll be on the Facebook forums.
Yep, we'll see you on the inside, guys. All right. OMG is a city on a hill. It's a place where friends come together in Providence. We're so excited that you came and you join us. And we will see you on the inside of OMG. There's just about 24 hours to go before registration closes. Exciting time to be alive. We will see you on the inside.